Yo, what is up guys, it's me Zach Lee. Alright, so the Cleveland Cavaliers finished their series with the Boston Celtics last night, and after LeBron claimed to have been sick for games 3 and 4, I guess he wanted to prove it to anyone that was saying it was just an excuse for his poor performances in those games, because he came out in that game really just looking to put an end to it right away by himself. And he did. I mean, the game was pretty much over in the first quarter when the score was 43-27, and then 3 quarters later, the final score read 135-102. LeBron with 35 points, 8 assists, and 8 rebounds. But right now, no one is really talking about the Cavs beating the Celtics and LeBron advancing to the NBA Finals for the 7th straight year, because while Boston did have a fantastic season, and those guys and the fans of that team should be proud of what they accomplished this year, everyone knew right from the beginning what the outcome would be. Instead though, people are once again talking about the great debate. LeBron versus MJ, and has he or can he pass MJ as the greatest player of all time? And this debate was brought up again because LeBron did pass MJ yesterday. Maybe not as the greatest player of all time to some people, but as the all-time NBA playoff scoring leader. Yet LeBron James has now scored more points in the playoffs than anybody else in NBA history. So congratulations to him for that. And real quick, before I get into what I had to say about this, I just want to show you guys snippets of LeBron's post-game interview from yesterday when he was being asked about Michael Jordan and if he thinks he will ever surpass him as the GOAT.
LeBron, from the numbers that you wear on your jersey to just the way people have talked about this one guy being such a luminary in the game and you trying to chase it, how do you put into words passing Michael in such a statistic that has a lot of stature in this game?
I think, well, first of all, I wear the number because of Mike. I think I fell in love with the game because of Mike, just seeing what he was able to accomplish. But I felt like Mike was so, when you're growing up and you're seeing Michael Jordan, it's almost like a god. So I didn't never believe I could be Mike. The biggest thing for me sitting here today, after breaking the all-time scoring record in playoff history, is that I did it just being me. I don't have to score the ball to make an impact in a basketball game. For my name to come up in any discussion with Michael Jordan or Kareem or all these great guys that has paved the way for myself and Tristan and Kev and Swish, it's just a wow factor. I don't really have nothing to say.
So there you have it. I just showed you guys bits and pieces of the interview because the full thing was like 5 minutes long and I didn't want to just add an extra 5 minutes to this video, you know what I'm saying? So I hope you got the gist of what he was saying, but if not, basically what LeBron James said is that he doesn't want to be compared to MJ as a player. He grew up watching him and he idolized him. He's the reason that LeBron James got into the sport, but he never wanted to be him. That's why instead of just focusing on scoring the ball, he focuses on everything else as well. Basically just making the right play at the right time. Sometimes that's scoring, sometimes that's passing, and other times that just means getting out of the way when one of his teammates like Kyrie Irving is in a groove. Also that he wants to inspire generations to come, show them that the game is more than just scoring the ball, which is cool. And honestly, I'm not even sure how to gather my thoughts for what I'm about to say, so if it sounds like I'm rambling or just jumping from topic to topic, forgive me. But this LeBron versus MJ thing is kind of getting out of hand. Don't get me wrong, it's fine to discuss who you think is better or who you think had the better career. That's perfectly fine, as long as your intent isn't to try and take away from what the other person has done. Because I'm about to keep it 100% real with you guys right now. When someone tries to down talk the career or accomplishments of either LeBron or MJ, you just wind up looking foolish. Those two guys are easily the greatest players the game has ever seen. Are they similar in terms of play style and how they carry themselves? No, not at all. Which is partially why I think they shouldn't be compared. I mean, they're like two completely different players. Like I said earlier, LeBron didn't mold his game after MJ. Kobe did, but not LeBron. In fact, I don't think there's a single player in the NBA history that you can point back at and say, LeBron plays just like this guy or that guy did. Sure, LeBron has Magic-esque qualities to his game, no question about that. But he also has Larry Bird-esque qualities to his game. It's kind of like he took the best qualities from a bunch of different NBA greats and incorporated them into his own game. Plus, you know, added some things that we've never seen before thanks to his unique physique. And this isn't me praising LeBron or anything. This is just me spitting facts. You can't argue against that. And then for MJ, the league has never, ever seen a competitor like him before. The way he went 6 for 6 in the finals, never had a game 7. You know, you could go on and on about his ability to simply get the job done. His killer instinct, the ability to take over a game at will, it's remarkable. And we will never see another player exactly like him. Once again, Kobe did come really close with his competitiveness and will to win, but still, he just wasn't quite MJ. And some people value those qualities that MJ have over the qualities that LeBron has. And some people value the qualities that LeBron has over the qualities that MJ has. And the easiest way to describe the difference between them is, with a chance to win a championship and their team down by 1, LeBron is going to make the right play even if that means passing it to another guy to take the shot. MJ, on the hand, is going to take that shot himself, no question about it. And this in the past has worked out for both players. Which one you value the most will most likely determine who you think is better though. And in terms of who has a better career, this is where things can get really heated, because it's clear that you can be a better player than someone but not have as good of a career. A perfect example of this would be someone like Allen Iverson, one of the greatest to ever play, but there have been players who weren't quite as good who have had better overall careers than Allen Iverson. And once again, when it comes to LeBron versus MJ career-wise, it's if you think that winning or just getting there is more important. I mean, LeBron has been to the finals more times than MJ. This is about to be his 7th straight finals appearance overall. That's more times alone than MJ has been in his career. But in his 6 times in going to the finals, MJ never lost. See, there is no right or wrong answer whether you value getting there or winning more. It's just a preference and what you think is most important, your opinion. The most important thing though, the deciding factor I think there is in determining who you think is the better player or had the better career is when you were born and what era of basketball you grew up watching. Here's what I mean. You look at Michael Jordan. He wasn't always considered to be the greatest player of all time. Now, I'm not 100% sure of who it was before MJ, or even if there was like a clear-cut greatest player of all time, but I'd imagine it was between guys like Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem, Bill Russell, guys like that. And then when MJ came along, I'm sure at first there were people who weren't willing to accept calling him the greatest to ever play for some reason or another. People hated him, just like they did every other great player to ever play the game. It wasn't too long ago when Kobe was the most hated player in the league. Then that hate transferred to LeBron and so on. You know, people always hate on greatness. It's historically proven. They want to see you get to the top, but once you get there, some of the same people who helped you get there will want to tear you back down. And then it's only after they retire or at the end of their careers that people will sit back and say, dang, he was really good, wasn't he? But back to what I was saying though about who you think is better based on the era you grew up watching and when you were born. Some of the older fans who grew up in MJ's era, or even the ones right after, you know, with Kobe, Duncan, Kidd, Carter, guys like that, to them, MJ is most likely the greatest player of all time. Because even if they did not experience him for themselves, that's what they have always grown up knowing. That's all anyone ever talked about, so it's kind of like been drilled into their heads that MJ is and always will be the greatest player who has ever played the game. And there is nothing wrong with that. MJ did transform the game to help it make what it is today. But for newer fans, maybe people who started watching in 2010 to 2011 and so on, to them, even if they don't consider LeBron to be the greatest yet, because of the stories they heard about MJ being so great, there is still a bit of a disconnect. You know, maybe where they think MJ is the greatest right now, but if LeBron does this or this happens, then he becomes the greatest player of all time. And guess what? That opinion isn't going anywhere. If anything, it's only going to get stronger. No matter what the most diehard LeBron haters or MJ fans say, they're not gonna change their minds. And one day, once more and more fans come along, when the generation that believes LeBron is the greatest is the more prominent voice in the NBA community, that's what the even newer fans or the next generation of fans will believe, because that's all anyone will talk about. Stories of what LeBron did, or how the game used to be when LeBron played, how LeBron transformed the game, stuff like that. But then guess what? Some other new guy will come along and join the discussion, and he'll be hated, but at the same time not compared to MJ, but be compared to LeBron. And there will be people saying that there's no way that he is as good as LeBron. talking up LeBron, how good he was, while trying to trash the new guy. But then guess what? There will be a day when the popular opinion is that he is the greatest to have ever played the game. So do you see what I'm saying? There will always be a day when someone who is seen to be better will come along. Will he actually be better? Heck, is LeBron actually better than Michael Jordan? There is no way to tell. There will never be a time when one player and one player alone is seen as the greatest player of all time. And like I said in the beginning of the video, I didn't make this to try and put an end to the Michael Jordan versus LeBron James debate. Heck, I wanted to keep going. It's entertaining. I like discussing it. But I'm simply saying that both players are great. And when comparing them, try not to tear down the other person because you only look ridiculous. And it's okay if you think LeBron is greater or MJ is greater. It doesn't matter who you think is the best because there are legitimately great arguments for both sides. And either way you go, you're right and you're wrong at the same exact time in many different ways. And I already know the comment section for this video is going to be like a clash between the two sides. And it's going to be just all blood war down there, but it's going to be fun for me to read. So here we go. On to the question of the day. Who is the greatest of all time for you right now? LeBron James or Michael Jordan? Let me know why. This is about to get heated. But now let's take a quick look at what you guys said in yesterday's video. And yesterday, after word got out that CP3 was interested in joining the San Antonio Spurs, but the financial side of things could be very costly for the Spurs to sign him, I asked you guys if it would be worth it for the Spurs to gut their roster in order to go after him. And you guys said this: Pop just needs to keep being Pop. And from what I can see, he's not the kind of coach who guts a team for a player. He's a coach who works with what he got, which has been just very solid for the team in the past few years. I was born a Spurs fan. I seriously think they always go long term anyway, so Paul will be a bad fit. I'd want to see Lowry, but the money might not be there either. Spurs never gut rosters. If anything, they'll make a trade in the draft per usual. Spurs won't sign CP3. As a Spurs fan, I wish they would or could, but that's just not gonna happen. I think they sign someone like Lowry or George Hill, even Holiday if CP3 joins the Pelicans. You know, anything is possible, and I'm sure the Spurs and Chris Paul will talk about it, but they would have to make a lot of sacrifices in order for it to happen, and maybe from both sides, including the Spurs and Chris Paul. And I just don't think all of the sacrifices would be worth it if there are other options still left on the table for San Antonio. Now with that out the way though, I just want to thank you guys once again for watching this video and for all the support you guys continue to give me. You guys really mean the world to me. I do care about you guys so much. Thank you. With that being said, there is someone else I want you to go check out. I want to give a huge shout out to my guy Black Knight. He hit me up the other day saying he liked my videos, and of course I knew who he was. I mean, he makes some of the best top 10 NBA lists I've ever seen on the internet. And he just made one about time possible Paul George trade, so make sure to go check him out. But other than that, guys, thank you once again for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to leave a like on it if you did and subscribe for more daily NBA videos. And until tomorrow, keep getting the Bucks, Team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace!